Hello, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Lynetta Price. I'm a member of the Hazel Park Promise Zone Board. We have a phenomenal team here, and I just want to say thank you so much. This took a lot of time preparation, getting this together every year, but for most of all, it's for the kids. I would like to introduce a very nice gentleman that I just met him and his wife today. And a couple things that I feel like I'm comfortable here, so I don't have to talk about at the podium. But we have a lot of things in common. And I said, when I met Pastor Hunter and his wife, I said, wow, I want to know a little bit about you. And I found out really unique things, not just the bio, but like kind of personable, talk and feel for the speaker of the night. So I said, wow, we talked about sports. He's from Alabama. I said, wow, okay, I'm from Ohio, everybody knows. But I said, wow, that's great. But one thing is that I thought that was very unique is that they both work for kids. They both have a heart and passion. And they both said at the same time, we have a heart for the kids. They said, what can you give us, what advice? And I gave them some advice, and they said, wow, we have all in common. We love kids. She's a social worker, he's a pastor, a coach, which is very awesome. But I just want to commend you for that, because that takes a lot of time and talent to do that and to help and mentor and role model for others. I really appreciate that. I want to let you know that. But that was great. They both have a heart for kids. So, again, our MC for the day is Mr. Shelby Hunter. Can you come on up? Thank you so much, Mr. Hunter. Thank you.
Can I just hug you?
Oh, thank you. Oh, I guess I felt like we were related.
That's it. That's my sister now, y'all. How's everybody doing this evening? Everybody good? I can get real loud, right? How's everybody doing this evening? Everybody good? Yeah. Who's hungry? Awesome. My name, again, is Shelby Hunter. What an honor it is to be here, to be able to be an MC here tonight. Honestly, you guys, we're just going to have fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves tonight, socialize, eat good, and just enjoy it for these amazing, amazing kids. Again, as you heard Lynetta say, my wife and I, we love the younger generation. They need our support, right? They need our help. They need us to be there for them however, whenever. And so I am so excited to be here tonight to be able to host this wonderful event. Without further ado, what I would like to do, I would like to introduce, she is like, can I just be real with y'all? She is like my amazing friend, sister, mentor, Dr. Amy Krupe. Where are you? Where are you? I know she's here. Where'd she go? There she goes. I would like to introduce Dr. Amy Krupe, you all.
Well, am I standing in the way of everybody eating? No, I'm just checking. Yeah, so we could drop the mic. Well, thank you. Thank you for everybody being here this evening. How amazing is this to have so many friends and families of Hazel Park School here in the audience this evening. So give yourself a round of applause. This is amazing. This is my 9th year in Hazel Park, and how wonderful is it to see this grow, but not only grow, all the wonderful things that are happening within our school district. Last year, a 94% graduation rate with all the support of the Promise Zone. Highest that we have ever had. Great college-going experience for our kids, and that is because of all the support of you in our yearly auctions tonight. I hope you take an opportunity to see the baskets next door, donate, have a great time, and think about everything that we do tonight is celebrating and giving opportunities to our students in Hazel Park. We are so fortunate to have all of you, and I can't wait to share some of the great things that are about just around the corner. So thank you tonight for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Krupe. We appreciate your service and everything that you do. You're amazing. I'm going to keep saying that all night. I guarantee it. Without further ado, we're going to go to the next section. I would like to introduce Monique. Monique, where are you? Hi. How are you? Let's give a hand clap for Monique. How are you?
Good evening. I have the privilege of introducing to you the other members of the board, and I would ask that they stand and you hold your applause until the end. We're going to begin with Ed Hitchcock, who is the chairman. Ed Claubarcher, who is the vice chairman. John Harvey, who is the secretary. Ellen Lipton, who is our treasurer. Nofal Akash, Dr. Amy Krupe, who you already met. Stacy Cruz. Lynetta Price, who you've met. Jimmy Patterson. Steve Haddad, and I am Monique Harlan. We are privileged to serve this board. And I'd like to leave you with this. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And we are privileged to help the students of Hazel Park to prepare for it. Bless you.
Thank you, Mrs. Harlan. We again thank you, Ms. Harlan, and all of you Board of Trustees. We thank you for your service and dedication. Moving forward to our next, we will introduce Miss Ellen Lipton, if she could come up.
I am in the house. Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see you. I cannot thank all of you enough for being here. Each and every one of you is an important part of the Hazel Park family. But I do want to give a special shout out to our elected officials who have come here to support us. And so I would ask that when I call your name, please stand up, and if we could hold our applause till the very end, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. So I'd first like to introduce Hazel Park School Board member Monica Ratti. Hazel Park School Board member Rick Nagy. Hazel Park City Councilman Luke Londo. Hazel Park School Board member Dawn Rice. Hazel Park City Councilman Andy LaCuro. Hazel Park Mayor Mike Webb. Meridian Township Trustee Kathy Sundland. Judge Brian Hartwell. Madison Heights Mayor Roslyn Grafstein. Hazel Park City Councilwoman Andrea Washington. And former mayor of the city of Birmingham, and with the Sutar Sutarek Meyer Foundation, Stuart Sherman. Please, elected officials, please stand up to be recognized. Oh. I'm sorry, did someone snuck in? Alyssa Sullivan. Mayor Pro Tem Alyssa Sullivan. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we have another. Ann Erickson Gold, Oakland County Commissioner. Oh, Oakland County Commissioner David Woodward. Any other elected officials that I missed? Former Oakland County Treasurer Andy Meisner. Thank you so much to, as I said, all of our friends and all of our family, but particularly heartfelt thanks from me to all of our elected officials for being here tonight. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Limpton. All right. Thank you again for all you amazing officials and what you do. I just, again, want to appreciate for all the hard work and dedication that you guys are doing in the city, man. Hazel Park is a great city. Without further ado, let's prepare to eat. How about that, right? But before we get ready to eat, I would like to introduce two people. Apostle John Harvey, there he goes. I love that suit. Come on now, y'all should give more clapping for the suit. That is an amazing suit that he has on, amen? And it is Kathy, correct? Kathy? There she goes. Okay. Apostle?
Good evening. You know, it was the Roman philosopher and statesman Cicero who once said, cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. Now, we're about to have some food. But tonight is also a night we get to celebrate the Hazel Park Promise Zone for cultivating young minds. So with that being said, let us bow our heads. Dear God, we give you thanks and praise for the Hazel Park Promise Zone and the wonderful work they do every single day. And Heavenly Father, right now, we ask your blessing upon the food that has been prepared. May it give us strength and nourishment that we can always serve you and we can be a blessing to those we encounter. And Lord, thank you so much for simply being good to us. For truly, this is the prayer we offer in the name that is above every name. Amen.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone has enjoyed their meals. We're so excited to be at this venue. This is our first time at the gazebo, and we were so proud to host our 11th dinner here, owned by a Hazel Park High School alum. We like to support our Hazel Park alums because we're all creating a Hazel Park Promise Zone family, which is really, really what it's all about. So now that everyone has had their meal, I think we would like to move to the next part of our program. And I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing tonight's keynote speaker. I had the privilege of hearing Mr. Coleman speak at our most recent State Board of Education meeting, and he can confirm this. I came running after him before he was going to leave, and I said, I want you to come speak the next couple weeks at the Hazel Park Promise Zone dinner. And he was gracious enough to accept, so you will be able to enjoy what I was able to enjoy. Ken Coleman doesn't need any introduction, but I'm just going to, for those of you who are going to be hearing him and enjoying him, just very briefly, he reports on Southeast Michigan history, education, civil rights, and voting rights. And he has published 4 books. He is absolutely interesting, amazing, delightful speaker. You guys are really going to enjoy his presentation. So please give a warm Hazel Park Promise Zone welcome to Mr. Ken Coleman.
Thank you, friend. Give our great friend Ellen Lipton a round of applause. She is a great Michigander and a jewel, and I will just say to this beautiful group of folk, Hazel Park Promise, give yourselves a hand tonight, right? I was telling Ellen, I was texting her and emailing her over the course of the early part of this afternoon and said, Ellen, I'm coming, I'll be there, I'm running a little bit late. Today is election day. I write for MichiganAdvance.com. We are a statewide public policy and politics news site, and I'm rushing to get here. And then when I get to this great venue, the gazebo, every spot in the parking lot was full. So I'm a couple of blocks north. If anybody can give me a ride to the no. But it's great to be here. And I only have a few moments, so I need to get into it. As I pointed out, I'm Ken Coleman. I write for Michigan Advance, and pleased to do that as a working reporter that covers state government. And as Ellen pointed out, had the great opportunity to speak about this topic tonight. Had an opportunity to do that at the State Board of Education meeting before Ellen and her great colleagues on the board, and also the Michigan Department of Education. I thought what was very interesting to talk about tonight is, during Black History Month, is Michigan's role along the Underground Railroad. How many people are familiar with that process, the Underground Railroad? Absolutely. The system by which African Americans, particularly in the South and southern states, but sometimes in western states like Missouri, the route that they found to freedom as slaves, moving in a clandestine fashion through in the case of people who arrived in Detroit or metropolitan Detroit, going through the South, sometimes by stagecoach, sometimes by steamboat, but getting here in the middle of the 1800s at a time when slavery was still being carried out in our nation. And so I've got just a few slides. I only have a few moments, but before I even get there, Ellen, what's on my heart tonight, and I think I shared this with you and a couple of others, in Michigan Advance today, we report, and I'm proud to say, and the work that the Promise has helped to create for a consecutive year in Michigan, the 4-year high school graduation rate percentage has increased. And that's a beautiful thing, right? It's a testament to the great work that y'all are doing in Hazel Park. And if you look to MichiganAdvance.com in our reporting this afternoon, you'll see that reporting reflected. And the first slide that we see, I call this presentation a doorway to freedom. Doorway to freedom. It speaks to Michigan's role along the Underground Railroad. And as a sort of working definition, the Michigan Historical Center calls the Underground Railroad, or says that the Underground Railroad was not a physical railroad. Locomotive and tracks, as we tend to look when we think about a railroad, it was a system, as I pointed out, of secret and clandestine sometimes routes for African Americans to achieve freedom. What you see on the slide on the bottom is a photo of a statue in downtown Detroit at Hart Plaza at the foot of the river, and the statue is called the excuse me. The statue is called the Gateway to Freedom. What it depicts is African American slaves, sometime in the 1800s, and what's depicted in that statue are men, women, and children, and a gentleman named George de Baptiste, an African American businessman who was known as a conductor of the Underground Railroad. And so, how many have you been to Hart Plaza and seen the Gateway to Freedom statue? Okay, many of you know it. And so it's been part of our landscape in Detroit in 2001. And Ellen, it was dedicated in 2001 because it happened to be the 300th anniversary of Detroit's founding. Next slide, please. And so I am fortunate enough to be one of many who get an opportunity to lead history tours throughout Detroit. And I talked about me being a reporter at MichiganAdvance.com, but sort of my night gig or weekend gig is being a tour guide and hosting tours, leading tours throughout the city, particularly centered on African American life in Detroit, but not always. One of the spaces that I love to go is Second Baptist Church in Detroit. Second Baptist Church in Detroit. It holds the distinction of being the oldest congregation, the oldest African American congregation in the state. It was founded by 13 men and women, some of whom had been slaves. It was founded in 1836, and I've seen a number of former state lawmakers in the House, including Ellen, and they know, and I'm certain that you all know too, 1836 is 1 year before Michigan joined the Union. And so Michigan was a territory in 1836, yet these 13 men and women petitioned at that time the territory government, Ellen, to create this congregation. It's called Second Baptist Church. And people say all the time, well, Coleman, why is it called Second Baptist Church? because there was a First Baptist Church, right? And it was a First Baptist Church that was largely a white congregation. They did have African-American members, but these 13 men and women at that time, in the 1836, said, we are concerned about, had concerns about race discrimination being carried out in aspects of the way the church was being run, First Baptist Church. So Second Baptist Church comes online in 1836. This is a photo of the lower half, as you can see, the lower half of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. It really illustrates the routes along the Underground Railroad where African Americans entered Michigan and moved ultimately to Canada, which is here. I point out to people, sorry about that. I point out to people that this is 1836, but it kind of shows you the route system that we know today as I-94 and I-96, right? If you look at the bottom corner, you know the Michigan Mitten very well. There's cities like Cassopolis and Niles. They were routes along the Underground Railroad. The popular misnomer is that many people think that the Underground Railroad was really sort of a phenomenon that happened in Metro Detroit or in the city proper. Former Representative Dave Woodward, State Representative Dave Woodward, my good friend. But the reality is that there were many routes along the Underground Railroad, Jackson, Michigan, Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, Detroit, as I mentioned before, Niles, Cassopolis, and the list goes on and on and on. I found out through research that, interestingly enough, there was an African-American slave that escaped from the state of Missouri. In 1846. And when he got to Michigan, his first stop was in Marshall, Michigan. But this brother finds a way, before the Mackinac Bridge, he finds a way to get to the UP. And not only settles in the UP in 1848, but has the enough ingenuity to recognize that that town in the UP where he landed or settled was rich in copper. And he sold copper to a mining company. A guy who had been a slave 6 or 8 weeks before, Ellen, an African American man finds his way to the Upper Peninsula in 1848. Incredible stuff. Next slide, please. And so, Second Baptist Church is a leader in chronicling this Underground Railroad journey. And when you go, if you have an opportunity to go on the tour, it's about an hour or so. If you get an opportunity to go on a tour at Second Baptist Church, they offer their own tours exclusively, you will see that African-American people who managed to find their way from Kentucky and Tennessee and the Carolinas and Alabama and Georgia, if they found their way to Detroit and got to Second Baptist Church, they had a sanctuary in Second Baptist, again, that first African-American congregation. There is a holding space. If you go on the tour, you'll see it. There's a holding space in the basement of Second Baptist Church. It's under the sanctuary. Has anybody been on that tour? Okay, so I'm not saying stuff that you all don't know, right? It's a fascinating journey through history. The church today is led by a young African-American man named the Reverend Lawrence Rogers. And so I've been pleased and privileged to help lead tours where we go to Second Baptist Church, and then that group will see their tour. Next slide, please. It's important for you all to know, and as I look around the room, there are a lot of people in the room who happen to be white. It's important that we as Americans understand that the Underground Railroad in Michigan and its operation could not have happened without support from the white community. White abolitionists played a major role in helping to free African American slaves. One of them is a gentleman named Seymour Finney. Seymour Finney. If you are a Detroiter and you know of Detroit, maybe you grew up in Detroit, you know that Finney name is very popular and notable in the city. There's a high school named Finney High School on the city's Lower East Side. It was not named after Seymour Finney, but rather one of his grandsons, Jarrett Finney. Seymour Finney was an abolitionist in the 1800s, owned a hotel, owned a couple different businesses, but he was certainly someone who played a strong role in helping African American slaves to find freedom. I point that out only because oftentimes there's not enough attention to the role that whites and blacks played in the abolition, in the movement to eliminate slavery in America. Seymour Finney is someone that we should lift up. And I don't know how y'all feel. I'm a black guy out of the Baptist tradition. I believe in call and response. And so if you want to give a hand to Seymour Finney, it's cool, right? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. And so not only were white abolitionists important, I mentioned him a little bit earlier at that Gateway to Freedom statue, but George the Baptiste, who happened to be an African-American businessman, was another important player and conductor along the Underground Railroad, and a Michigander for which we should all be proud. The Baptiste was a businessman. Among other things, he owned a steamboat that provided transportation between along the Detroit River from the foot of the Detroit side of the river, a mile or so south to Windsor, Canada. I led a tour, Ellen, earlier this week. A couple of women from Great Britain were in town. And they said, Coleman, we understand that you do history tours. Can you show us elements of Detroit's history? And I said, sure. And they emailed me one night and said, can you do it in the morning? And I said, okay, I'm going to try. I got a lot of things happening. But so I led the tour of a group of women from Great Britain, and I showed them the foot of the river at Hart Plaza. And I said to them, ladies, one of the interesting things about Detroit and its proximity geographically to the rest of North America is this is probably the only spot, ladies, where you can look south to Canada as opposed to north because of Detroit's the space in which Detroit sits and its proximity to Windsor. But the Baptiste was a very important guy. I've got a 15-year-old at Cass Technical High School, and they use a phrase, hey, CT, second to none. They use the phrase major dude. George the Baptiste was a major dude, and he owned a steamboat, again, that transported escaped slaves from Detroit to Canada for ultimate freedom. Remember, think about our civics, our American history and civics, right? The Great Britain Dominion abolished slavery 30 years before we did here in the States. So 30 years before the Emancipation Proclamation that President Lincoln offered, in 1863, the British had done that 30 years before. So Canada becomes a major destination place for black people who escaped as slaves. Next slide, please. And I'll be a little bit quicker because I know I got to move. I know I only have a few moments. But I do want to share this. Again, in the vein of blacks and whites working together for the ultimate freedom of African American slaves, March in 1859 in Detroit served as a pivotal moment. How many people remember from our history books the great abolitionist John Brown? A man who happened to be white. John Brown meets Frederick Douglass, an African-American abolitionist, in Detroit, in downtown Detroit. Brown brings with him, and they're coming from Missouri, Brown brings with him, again, a white man, brings with him, we don't know the number, but it varies in terms of researchers. But we know John Brown brought several African-American slaves with him. Missouri was a slave state. Remember the Missouri Compromise. John Brown brings slaves with him to Detroit in March of 1859. Meets with John Brown at the home of an African-American abolitionist named William Webb. Historians in the room, people who have a love for American history, will realize and remember that John Brown had an idea. He wanted to, as an abolitionist, he wanted to find a way to create really this sort of critical event or incident that would help move along that idea of ending slavery. And so he says, I want to take a few guys. I got a couple of my boys with me. I want to go to Harper's Ferry, a military complex in West Virginia, and I want to raise hell. John Brown does that with a group of white friends, and seeks to commandeer the control of a military complex in the Confederate state of West Virginia, known as Harper's Ferry. It did not go well. John Brown was not successful at all. People died. John Brown was charged, and 6 months after he met with Frederick Douglass in downtown Detroit, and there is a historical marker at the foot of the Blue Cross Blue Shield campus in downtown Detroit. 6 months after they met, John Brown was charged and hanged. By the end of the year, he was dead. He was dead because he had an idea about ending slavery for African Americans, and John Brown was whiter than white, as y'all can see. Next slide, please. Sorry about that. Ellen pointed out, I gave this presentation before the State Board of Education earlier this month in the Michigan Department of Education, and the argument that I made is Michigan's role in the Underground Railroad was bigger than just southeastern Michigan. In fact, there were other cities in Michigan that played a huge role in helping to end slavery as we know it. I told Ellen and her colleagues, I'm ashamed to say that as a K-12 student, public school student in Michigan, I had no idea that Sojourner Truth had a place and a presence in our state. Sojourner Truth is a legendary abolitionist. She moved to Michigan later in her life, and in fact settled in Battle Creek. Really the other side of the state, essentially. She not only lived her last part of her life there, continuing the fight against slavery, she was also one of the quintessential women who argued for suffrage, voting rights for women. At that time, women could not vote in most spaces in America, whether they were white or black. But Sojourner Truth fought for both of those important gains. She died in Battle Creek. This is a photo on the right of the burial ground where she was laid to rest in Battle Creek. And in downtown Battle Creek, there is a statue that was erected in 1999 that recognizes the role that Sojourner Truth played in America, and she happened to be a Michigander. That ought to be a reason, y'all, in the call and response tradition, that ought to be a reason to give her some data boys. Or that of girls. That of girls. That of girls. Next slide, please. As I wind down, because I know time is short, I think I pointed out, as I get some of these presentations mixed up. I've been fortunate enough to do many of them over the course of the last month. But Detroit was a city that had one of the first anti-slavery societies. White men and black men, and in those days it was, we did not pay enough attention to gender equity. But Detroit was one of the first cities that had an anti-slavery society, an organization that fought for the abolition of slaves in America. But the first one was actually in Ann Arbor. Detroit's was founded in 1837, but Ann Arbor's anti-slavery society was founded in 1836. And in downtown Ann Arbor, and this is what this photo illustrates, in downtown Ann Arbor, there is a monument, a Michigan historical marker, that speaks to that incredible day when the first meeting was held in Ann Arbor of that anti-slavery society. Remember the earlier slide when I talked about those routes and talked about those cities and talked about what they look like to us today, like I-94 and I-96. Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti were very important cities along Michigan's Underground Railroad. Last slide, please. For those of you, and I think the promise, the great work that y'all are doing in Hazel Park is very important. And I would just ask, if you don't know, the Michigan Freedom Trail Commission, it is a subset of the Department of DNR in Michigan. The Michigan Freedom Commission has a new website. I reported on it, others reported on it too, but I reported on it for Michigan Advance, that now has an interactive map whereby you can see, young people can see, particularly school-aged children, can see some of the routes along the Underground Railroad. And when you go onto the site, you will be able to see photos and other images, hear oral histories from descendants of men and women who were slaves. It's an incredible education tool. I certainly would imagine that there are many educators in the room. If you don't know of this site, one of the things that I'd like to make available, Ellen, to anyone who would like, is a slide deck, this PowerPoint presentation that I'm offering that has a link to this site where you can hear more about Michigan's role in the Underground Railroad. And it's very much geared toward not only adults, but young people. And I know that's a passion of all of yours. It is the one thing, as I leave you tonight, that I will say that we have incredible, we've created incredible energy around sharing this history, making available these stories, finding ways to place them into curriculum within school districts. I've been happy to, and others, many others, just not me. We've worked in Detroit with Detroit Public School Superintendent Nikolai Vitti, Dr. Vitti, and his commitment to place more local history and infuse it into lesson plans and curricula for K-12 students. As I leave y'all tonight, I want to place on your heart, let's find a way, many ways, in fact, to infuse this great Michigan history of people working together, blacks and whites, other people of color, indigenous people, working together to share this history. The reality is, as I close, Michigan was a leader in the abolition of slavery. And it wasn't just metropolitan Detroit. It was places and spaces throughout that mitten, the Upper Peninsula, the Lower Peninsula. God bless you all. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mr. Coleman, I just want to personally, from I'm sure my wife and myself, I appreciate the information that you've shared with us here tonight. I think that is important information to give for all you young people, even myself, right? Because I think what I caught from it, I actually wrote it down, was at the first slide. It said that it was a network of people across racial identities who help people fleeing enslavement. Right? It was a network of people, a highlighted network of people. I think that it speaks to where we are when it comes to Promise Zone, that we are a network of people looking to aim for some common goal, right, for the young people. And so I'm encouraged by what you have said here tonight. I really believe, sir, what you did was leave a mark. And I appreciate your wisdom and your words, and I value that, sir. So if we could give a hand clap to Ms. Coleman one more time. All right. Is everybody full? Listen, I'm a football coach, so I got some workouts we can do to get y'all working. Oh, y'all got quiet on me. We can get a workout going, right? All right, we're gonna move right on into our next area. I would like to bring up the next. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Listen, can I just tell y'all something? Thank you for my wife and awesome team, because I'm forgetting a lot of stuff here tonight. So forgive me. The first thing is, what is this called? Caricature. I'll embarrass myself. There you go. These are some amazing, amazing photos here, right? And we are let me. We are so grateful to have a wonderful artist. We had a chance to speak with him in the back. This guy is talented, y'all. He will be here until 8 o'clock, right? If you have not had the time to do it, I would humbly and would love for you to go over there and get your picture, all right? These are amazing photos, right? And then the other one was, we have about 5 more minutes, and then we're done with raffles. So get your money, your phone, your wallet, and go put that last minute order in for your raffle tickets. All right? Did I forget anything else? Okay. Because I'm gonna start sweating here in a minute. All right. So we're gonna move right on to the next one. I would like to call up an amazing college team. They have an amazing presentation for us. Musa, Fernando, Paul, and Kimberly, if you could stand up for us, please. And if you can make your way down to the amazing stage.
Okay, thank you so much. So definitely for the college team, we would like also to extend the team to recognize the counselors. So the counseling team, they are a very important piece of this work from the high school standpoint. So they're not here today, but we want to recognize them. One of them is named Jocelyn, and the second one is Harley from the high school. Please give them a round of applause. So with that being said, the next thing we will go over the state of the promise for this year, 2024. And as you all remember already, the promise only is to just make sure kids can go to and through college from Hazel Park. So we have a 4-pillar programming, and then one of them, the main key is scholarship. We want to make sure, we can provide scholarship to our kids to at least an associate degree to Oakland Community College. And then we do also provide college access work, which is a college advisor. And we do provide SAT prep work at the high school. And we have a success coaching work and a mentoring. And with that being said, so we will give you some of the highlight and the impact from last school year. So this is the team. So myself, Fernando, Monica, Paul, and Kimberly. So give them a round of applause. Next slide, please. So for some of the impact last year, so we were able to provide over $90,000 in scholarship to our college students. Total student impacted 500 plus. So what I mean by that, we have been impacted 500 plus students. So it can be any issue from student emergency, from having issues with roaming, having issue with food, having issue with transportation, having issue with falling short with their tuition bills. So we have done all kind of support provided to students. So we have impacted 500 plus directly last year. And not only that, so as I mentioned earlier, we have a 4-pillar programming. So one of the key impact is the completion rate. We have 6 out of 10 college students who at least made it to their first year of college in the school year of 2022-2023. And the next one, we have been able to provide 3 SAT prep sessions to 134 high school juniors so they can be ready, so our SAT scores can go up. That means more money for the students. And we also have the community mentoring program. We were able to match 32 mentees with 27 mentors from the community. And among the 32 mentees, now we have near peer mentors. The first students from the class of 2019 are giving back to the organization as near peer mentors. Please give them a round of applause. Some of them are in the room here. And the college students, they are averaging about 26 credits a year, which is the right average, to graduate in anywhere between 4 to 6 years. And then the GPA, our college students are averaging at 3.3 GPA, which is very good. And through the work of our outstanding college advisor, Paul, can you stand up so you can be recognized? So he was able to secure $2 million in external scholarship potential awarded to our class of 2023. And lastly, so all of this is done in the Hazel Park with 4 key elements. So we want to make sure what we do is relevant. And also we want to make sure what we do is coherent, effective, efficient, and we are always looking for impact and sustainability. And the way we do it for and with the student. So that is a philosophy, that's a belief. So with that being said, I will pass it to my colleague Fernando. He will go over the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Musa. Forgive me for having my notes on my phone. I was born in the 90s. My name is Fernando Monge. I'm the program director. Thank you. I'm the program director for the Hazel Park Promise Zone. I just want to quickly go over some things, some exciting things that we're doing over at the Hazel Park Schools District. And I say that because I like to emphasize every time I like to talk about my work that we serve every single student in that district, right? We have 3 high schools. So over at the high school, we've been working really hard to get our students to fill out a bunch of different applications. We have over 75% of students who have started their FAFSA application, which is a free federal application for financial aid for all their post-secondary endeavors. Very exciting. It's a very tough application. We have had over 80% of our students fill out multiple college applications. So that is one of our favorite goals. Over 400 applications have been filled out overall between all our seniors at the high school. Very, very cool. I know, very, very exciting. Of those, what I meant to say, of those, 80% of our students submitted at least 1 application, 55% submitted more than 3 applications, and 60% have already been admitted to at least 1 school. So the work's getting done. We are officially on our 2nd year of being boots on the ground over at Advantage Alternative School. We are excited to be There on the ground, working with our students, we are taking them college tours, getting them acclimated with the college readiness, college access work. We are bringing folks, representatives from different industries to learn about the industries that they want to go into and learn more about. And I am happy to announce that we are finally starting our partnership with Invest Roosevelt High School to bring in the same quality college access education that the Promise Zone has been giving the rest of the students in the district. We're very excited about the work we're doing. We're very excited to work with all these different students. Let me look at my phone notes. And now we would like to show you more about what the Promise Zone is doing and how it affects and how it has influenced the students, our alumni, their parents, their families. So with that said, please roll the video.
I heard about the Promise Zone when I started high school. The teachers and the staff really showed us about it and told us about the benefits of it, and that even if you are not and have the financial means to go to college, that's what the Promise Zone is about. They're about helping you get to college, and they're also even about helping people, even if you're not going to college, have a post-secondary plan after you graduate.
I learned about the Promise Zone from my sister when she went away to college. The thing I knew about the Promise Zone before I was involved in it is that it's a really good, helpful source for kids that are planning on going to college, and it's just something that every senior should know about.
I did not know much about the Promise Zone up until my senior year of high school. I thought it was a great program, and I knew I wanted to be involved once I heard about it.
We have other older siblings. We have 3 older siblings. They all went to Hazel Park High School as well as us. They kind of showed us and told us about the scholarships that were offered so that we were prepared to sign up and attempt to get those scholarships as well.
Our expectations were just, to get financial aid, but we also wanted to give back as well for, not just take advantage of the scholarship, but give back to our community as well. A lot of burden of the financial problems that I faced going into college felt lifted off my shoulders because I knew that there were people looking out for me and helping me pay for college. So it made me a lot more motivated to go to college.
The most important thing about it that I feel is the college advisor that they have at the school, and their role is to help you. They give you advice about college. They also help you make a plan about college. You can ask them any questions you have about college, like college life and things like that sort that a lot of people can't give advice on. So that's also a good benefit of it. And that's something that really helped me a lot.
So the role of the college advisor here at Hazel Park High School is to work with the school staff and the Promise Zone team to kind of help kids find a plan for after high school. And I do that through working one-on-one with the students and helping them with college applications, financial aid, helping them find a right match and fit, and just overall getting them exposure to what life after high school can be and what they should expect in their future.
It supported us financially. It helps with books and then also tuition. And then it also supports us just academically, like they said, to keep your grades up. And it's just something you look forward to, every semester you get that scholarship aid.
So the Promise Zone provided financial support for me. They helped me pay for textbooks, helped me guide my way through my first year of college with a mentor, which was a really great thing. I hadn't heard of that prior to, becoming part of the Promise Zone, so.
A challenge I think I would have faced without the Promise Zone support is definitely probably materials that you need for college because, being on college, it can get expensive with all the stuff. You got your food that you need to get, all the materials and stuff and supplies. So I feel like having some of the supplies being bought for you is really helpful.
Coming from a family like us three are in college at one time, so that's a big, heavy load on my dad. And so getting the Promise Zone really helps to lift weight not only off of his shoulders, but ours as well, because, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of time that he has to put in to help us get through school. And it's hard in itself to go to school and work and try to keep all that up. While staying successful. So just having this aid from Promise Zone really just takes a big burden off your shoulders, and for our dad as well.
I feel the challenges I faced would have been too many to count.
Not having the resources to get to where I am today. The Promise Zone provided a lot of resources that I feel I wouldn't have had without it.
For me personally, the support that the Promise Zone gives me, it helps me push myself to go to college. It helps me feel encouraged, knowing that the financial support is there for me. I know that college is really expensive, and having the Promise Zone help me pay for it, it makes me more excited, and I feel more encouraged to go.
They're here to help you, and the amount of help they have is not, it's not limited. It's very wide. They can help you a lot. Just the direct, immediate things that you think of and the things that you don't think of, like college life, how to schedule, how to balance college and work and your social life and things like that. They help with those small things too, and those small things add up to big things. And they do help with the big stuff like applying for financial aid, creating a schedule, and just balancing everything out.
So just do it. It's a great program, and it's only going to benefit you.
I think that's an easy question. Do it. There really are no drawbacks to the Promise Zone. It's really easy to fill out. It's all you have to do is submit your grades, your transcript, your financial aid, and answer a couple more questions. And Billy, that's the process. It's really easy. It's there for everybody. It doesn't choose what person it wants. It's literally there for everybody, and it's a resource. You got to use your resources. It's there for a reason. It's only for advantageous reasons. There are no drawbacks to the Promise Zone.
I would say go for it, because the Promise Zone, their ultimate goal is to help you in college. So either way, you'll be benefited.
Excited,
Yeah, I feel like I've said excited too much.
joyous, enthusiastic.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I'm a first generation college student, so I didn't have any immediate family to rely on for any advice or help or anything. So knowing that I can go from a small high school to one of the biggest universities in the state and probably the country at that it just was really reassuring and made me know that I can do anything and that I have a bright future ahead and that my zip code doesn't determine where I'm going to end up.
I think looking at my future, because they have done so much for me, I would only ever want to give back. I would only ever want to be a part of the Promise Zone. When I get my career, when I am financially ready, I will devote some money and scholarships to the Promise Zone. So it's kind of like a full circle moment.
My plan is to go to Central Michigan University right now. It's what I've been thinking about for a while. I wanted to try to get a bachelor's fine arts in theater there. And I have an audition scheduled March 23rd for acting and directing.
Some of the emotions that come to mind are just relief because they help relieve a lot of stress and also hope.
I'm very relieved and just happy overall. I think that getting this scholarship is huge, just burden off of everyone's shoulders, and just seeing that it puts my dad at a little bit more ease. It is very helpful, and it just makes you want to keep going, and it makes you want to work hard, and it just makes you want to give back and just stay successful through the whole process.
I kind of piggyback off of that. Like, it makes me feel relieved just seeing that email that, it's back again, apply for your scholarship. And it just makes you happy that, like, people from high school are still wanting to see how you're succeeding in your future and where you're going to go.
So I hope that you guys really just got a taste of what the Promise Zone is about. It is really changing lives, really, and we're really, really proud of what we're doing. We have tonight the opportunity to give someone an award that we reserve for people that we feel have gone above and beyond, people that have sort of come to the Promise Zone and they just sort of really get what we're doing. And so we call this the Above and Beyond Award. We would like to present this year's Above and Beyond Award to Rick Derry. I know that this is a surprise, but come on up. Come on up. We met Rick, and it was really just at a time when we needed help redoing our logo, doing our website, and Rick just came in and he just sort of got it. So we are so appreciative. We understand that Rick is going to be retiring this year, but we are just so happy that you are part of the Promise Zone family. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to miss you. I'm going to bring our wonderful MC back.
My bad. I'm emotional, man. I got emotional for him, so I got distracted a little bit. I'm sorry. All right. So, Miss Price had the privilege of introducing me at the beginning. But one of the things that really stuck out to her is, again, when she introduced us, I thought about something. And this is for you young people, wherever you guys are. I really want you to grab a hold of this. Before I became a football coach and teacher and all these things that I get a chance to do in Hazel Park, I used to work in a restaurant, right? And I used to cook steaks. So I can cook a really good steak. Tell the truth. There we go. All right. I can cook a really good steak. But one of the things that I had in my mind was do what you love and love what you do. I want that to sit in for a second. Do what you love and love what you do. I think that's very important for the younger generation, right? You guys are in a space where you're trying to identify what that looks like, but whenever you find out what that is, do what you love and love what you do. Ms. Price?
Thank you again, everyone. This announcement is very special to me. Real quick, as they were doing the video and talking about the college students, I saw that table over there. I saw someone over here just laughing and smiling like, wow, that's me. That's me. Yes, this is you. Yes, and we're so proud of you. We are the college students that are part of the Hazel Park Promise Zone. We want you to stand up right now so we can acknowledge you. Stand up. Is anyone? Yes. We want to give you, thank you so much for your time. We're always here for you for support. We just want to let you know for your hard work and dedication. We really appreciate you. And keep up the good work. Don't give up. Focus and stay determined, and you'll go far. You help someone else out, someone helped you, help the next person. Keep your heads up. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, awesome. All right, we're going to go to our next space. We are awarding for the 2023 William C. Hitchcock Promise Zone Service Award. And if we could bring up our city manager, Ed Colbert and Bill Hitchcock, please come up.
Thank you. Thank you, Shelby. I appreciate it. Mr. Hitchcock, come on up here. Before I bestow this award, I want to remind everybody why the William C. Hitchcock Award, created to honor Mr. Hitchcock for his many years of service to the Hazel Park School District in the Promise Zone. We give this award to a person every year who has a record of outstanding service to the Promise Zone. And this year, I'm excited to be joined by Mr. Hitchcock to present the award in Bill's honor to this year's recipient, Monica Retti. Bill? Before I read it, you just want me to go ahead and read it. You want me to say something? You want to say something?
A few years ago, we had a young family move next door to us. And before long, that family expanded with a young little girl. And we got talking with her about what kind of work she did, and she mentioned she was a bookkeeper. And a couple months later, I needed a bookkeeper. And as she was working for us, another couple months went by, and we needed a bookkeeper for the Promise Zone. And she has taken that position too. And she's been a blessing and a leader in keeping straight what we're doing in our district. And it's a privilege and a pleasure for Monica Retti to be honored this night.
You know, I can't think of anyone more deserving for this award than Monica. Monica is so much more than our highly competent bookkeeper. She's a tireless volunteer that has donated countless hours to raise money for the Promise Zone and to help organize our events. Monica Retti is a dynamo. Monica is a lifelong resident of Hazel Park, and her commitment to this community runs deep. She's an amazing wife and a mother. And I want you to know Monica's not just any wife. She's married to Chris, and that means she's the wife of a United States Marine. Monica showed her courage and character early on as a young bride, pregnant with the couple's first child, Madison, when she said goodbye to Chris as he deployed to Afghanistan, where Chris participated in some of the toughest combat of the Afghan campaign. Thankfully, Chris returned home to Monica, and they settled their young family in Hazel Park. And Hazel Park is certainly a better place because Monica and Chris chose to live here. Monica has been an integral part of the Hazel Park Promise Zone for years. Although she has been, this is not her only cause. She volunteers for so many community events and programs that it's impossible to list them all. But here's just a few. Webb Elementary School PTA, Senior All-Night Party, Hazel Park High School sports events, Hazel Park Junior High School sports events, Junior Viking sports events, and her and Chris have coached many teams for the Hazel Park Recreation Department. If you know Monica and Chris, you know how dedicated they are to spending time with their children, Madison, Molly, and Josh. Somehow, while working for the Promise Zone, being a mom, and participating in all her volunteer work, Monica found time to start a successful career in real estate. She has continued to learn and hone her skills, and she currently earned her real estate broker's license to the state of Michigan. Monica also sits on the Hazel Park Downtown Development Board, where she works to help Hazel Park's business district grow and thrive. 2 years ago, the voters of Hazel Park recognized what many of us have known all along, that Monica was a great leader. Monica ran for and won a seat on the Hazel Park School Board because she wanted to make sure that all students in the Hazel Park School District had access to a great education. Since her election, Monica hasn't backed away from tough decisions. She works hard to master the issues before the board, and she takes time to listen to all sides of an issue. Monica puts the interests of the students first when she makes decisions. These Promise Zone dinners do not put themselves on. The staff and the volunteers work hard to make sure they're successful, and one of the people that works the hardest is Monica Retti. The hall, the menu, the auction baskets, Monica's involved in all that. So on behalf of a grateful board of directors of the Hazel Park Promise Zone, it is my pleasure to share with Mr. Hitchcock the presentation of the William C. Hitchcock Award for 2024 to Monica Ratti. You can stand up, everyone. Miss Monica, would you like to say a few words?
I just want to thank everyone. Every year that it grows, it makes me get a little more emotional because this is my little baby. I love this dinner. I love raising money for our students. I love seeing the success of our students, and I love that they want to come back and be a part of it. I've been through quite a few directors. Not sure if it's me or you guys, but I'm the one still here. But I love you all. You've made me a better person too, so thank you guys for supporting our students and being here.
Thank you, Monica, and thank you for everything that you have done for the Hazel Park Promise Zone. We really do appreciate you, and I can't think of anybody else who deserves it more. And now I would like to ask my executive assistant and director of community relations, Linda Morato, to come up to help me present this next award to an outstanding young man. Linda is the winner of last year's William C. Hitchcock Award, and she's an amazing fundraiser, and I want to thank her for all her efforts this year before we present. This award to an outstanding young man. It's my pleasure and privilege to present the Sutarik Meyer Scholar of Excellence Award for 2024 to Jared Gajos. You know what? I likely would have never met Jared Gajos if it were not for the Hazel Park Promise Zone. Former Promise Zone Executive Director Kayla Roney Smith, where's Kayla? She was just here. There she is. Kayla told me that I just had to meet this smart and talented young Hazel Park High School student who wanted to pursue a career in government. Since I hold Kayla in such high esteem, anyone she spoke so well of is certainly someone I wanted to meet. I got the chance to meet Jared at a Promise Zone Christmas event hosted by Bill and Betty Hitchcock at their home. I could easily see why Kayla was so impressed. In addition to being a nice young man, Jared was a brilliant student, a bilingual French speaker, and a top performer in the high school's drama club. I kept tabs on Jared through Kayla after he graduated and went off to James Madison College at Michigan State University to earn his undergraduate degree. When the city of Hazel Park had an opportunity to offer some paid summer internships to college students, Jared was an easy choice for the program. Jared certainly made the most of his internship. He did such an outstanding job as an intern that I was happy to offer him a full-time position after he graduated college. Initially, Jared chose to divide his time between the City of Hazel Park and the Hazel Park Community Coalition, where he served as his executive director. But soon, his responsibilities with the city became more demanding. Jared has been an amazing asset to Hazel Park because he is willing to step out of his comfort zone and take on all types of projects and duties, ranging from grant writing and grant management to special events to assisting with communications to working in depth on his primary area of interest, human resources. Nowhere was this willingness to take on new challenges more evident than his decision to complete the Reserve Police Officer program at the Oakland Police Academy and join the Hazel Park Police Department's Reserve Unit. What an amazing resume for a young man in his 20s. Even though Jared recently faced a health challenge that interrupted his ability to drive and participate in the police reserve unit, he did not let this challenge stop him from accomplishing his goals. He completed a master's degree in human resources from Wayne State University, and I recently promoted Jared to the title of Director of Human Resources for the City of Hazel Park. Jared also serves as a board chair of the Oakland County Alliance for Coalitions for Healthy Communities, and he continues to volunteer for many organizations and community events. I will tell you, I believe the future is unlimited for Mr. Jared Gajos. He is truly someone of extraordinary talent and capability. He's always willing to help. He is always willing to undertake a new challenge, and he is absolutely fearless in the pursuit of his goals. So I would like to turn it over now to Linda Morato to say a few words as well.
Hi, everyone. I, too, was born in the 90s, so I need my face in my phone. I'm going to switch gears here a little bit to a more personal level. I had not worked at the city for that long when I was assigned the task of overseeing interns. One of the interns' name was Jared. When I first met Jared, I knew right away that I wasn't going to like him. In fact, I was quite perturbed with this kid at the time. He made such a memorable compliment to me. I'll never forget, and we still laugh about it till this day. Do you remember it? Yes, my jeans. He said, "Oh, I like your jeans. They're like from the 10th grade." And I said, "Who is this kid? Where did he come from?" Mind you, it was casual day that day, so. Long story short, fast forward almost 8 years of our time together. This kid ended up becoming like a son to me, my brony. In my language, it's my son. I can honestly say I have never met a young man with such an old and wise soul like Jared. His energy is contagious, and his tenacity for life is unmatched. Truly it is. I'm beyond grateful for our endless laughs, our time together at the office, and we are very lucky to have him on our team. So this is a very well-deserved award, Jared.
Mr. Gajos, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. Surprise. I do better with paper. James Madison, obviously. So, hello. First, thank you for the award and for having me here. Thank you for your continued support and words of encouragement to just a small town boy over the years. It means a lot to help me grow and prosper, and not just to me, right? To all the kids in the Promise Zone, all over the place. You saw the video, right? It means a lot to all of us. A little over a decade ago, I gave a speech at our Hazel Park High School graduation, and I quoted the following line: "Life is like a mosaic. Piece by piece, it creates an image." So you probably are asking yourself, Jared, what does that mean? Well, it means each part of our life adds to the overall image that we leave behind for those after us. Some parts are really good, right? Awesome. Maybe like tonight, it's going to be awesome. Great. Add to it. Some parts are, maybe we don't want to revisit them. And then some parts add to the next. You know, they're amazing, like this. I met Ed, and then I got a job out of that. Amazing. I love that. For me, the Promise Zone, with work from Kayla Roney Smith and her on-site mission with MSU, gave me a huge green and white piece for my mosaic of life. It changed the scheme of what I had for my envisioned future. As I stated in the agenda that you found on the table today, I never really had a thought of what I thought about going into college. But it was some of the Hazel Park teachers, some of them are here today, with assistance from the Promise Zone and my family, who really pushed me to help foresee the mosaic that I could have and not the mosaic that I thought I might have, unless I put in the effort. Soon, I began to work with the Promise Zone to understand how to navigate the tedious process that was understanding FAFSA, applying to colleges, and eventually settling on my alma mater, MSU. Go Green. I didn't get the Promise Zone scholarship that a lot of people think you have to get out of the Promise Zone. The Promise Zone is much more than a scholarship. It's countless resources. It's a connection. But I got so much more out of it in my final year at Hazel Park High School than just that for a first-generation college student. Like myself, I was looking for something to help complete that small section of my overall mosaic, and I got that. The Promise Zone was the cement to my glass pieces, and I appreciate that for them. The Promise Zone provides students of all ages with an outlet to talk about what they're experiencing in terms of college preparedness, what they hope to see in the future for job opportunity, and how they hope they can help others create their own visions as well after graduation. Together, we can all leave behind masterpieces thanks to the work of the Promise Zone and all of its supporters. Thanks to every single person here today. I want to thank all of you again for your continued support, not just of me, but for everyone that will utilize the Promise Zone in the future. Please thank everyone here today at your table, in the future, anyone that used the Promise Zone for any time, and remember to go green. That's it.
To echo what Jared said, you should give yourselves a round of applause because the donations that you make tonight, as you can see, those donations change lives. And this award is named for the Sutarik Meyer Foundation. Mr. Stuart Sherman is a representative of the foundation. He's sitting over there. Without that foundation carried this entire Promise Zone for the first 4 years of its existence. And now we can see what this thing has grown into. And you should be proud of yourselves that you are literally changing the lives of students every single day with your donations and support of this organization. So thank you so much, and I will turn it over now to Shelby. I'm turning it over to Ellen. I was born in the 60s. I use paper.
This has been a great evening, and when we have evenings like this, it's sort of hard to say goodbye, but goodbye we must say. Before we all leave, we've got just a couple more items to handle before we make the raffle announcements. But I did first of all want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I think we've been able to show you the important work that we all do. But we have a lot of big plans for the future. We are never satisfied to just sort of sit back and just sort of go from year to year. We're constantly innovating and growing. So the innovation that I'd like to share with all of you is that we have begun to put together our first Promise Zone Alumni Advisory Board. They are a group of Hazel Park Promise Zone recipients who have now entered the workforce. Many of them have received the Sutarik Meyer Award, and I'm happy to say that the first 3 recipients have agreed to be part of our steering committee for our Alumni Advisory Board, and they are Dr. Michael Sterner, who was the recipient of our first award, Sutarik Meyer Award. Veronica Stakursky, who is an attorney. Michael is a doctor. And, of course, Jared, who you just heard from. So we are so excited now to be bringing our Promise Zone alumni together in a cohort to help advise us and inform those of us who are doing the work how we can better serve our students. So thank you again. Please know that the money that we raise tonight, the money that you donate, goes to helping students and changing lives. Please take a look if you feel so inclined. There are QR codes on the table. We thank all of you for everything that you've done, buying tickets, our corporate sponsors, our donors. We are so appreciative. But if you can dig a little deeper and give a little more, please pull out your cell phones and use the QR codes on the table. We can certainly appreciate it, and I hope that you know through our work and what we've shown you tonight that your money will be put to good use. So now I'm going to turn it over to Monica to announce our raffle winners. She's wrapping it. She's coming. Okay, so she'll be coming soon to announce the winners of the raffle. But thank you again, everyone, and I hope you've had a wonderful evening. I know that I have, and I've so enjoyed being able to share this time with you. So thank you so much.